Hello, everyone. In this 20-minute demo, I'm going to walk you through the Omnichannel customer service capability inside of Creatio. Now, it's almost understood that Omnichannel are basically table stakes, especially in the modern day CRM platforms. And that is pretty much the case also in case of Creatio. So one of the standards way that we can reach out to customers through Omnichannel is through the consultation panel. This is very helpful in instances when the customer decides to visit a local branch or maybe even call the contact center. The ability to reach them out on chatbots, the traditional channels like phone calls, emails, also SMS these days, and also Facebook Messenger. So there are multiple ways, as you can see on the right-hand side, where we can reach them out on omnichannel way. So let's take a quick look at understanding about the profile. We're now looking at Alex Wilson. Alex Wilson is a very strong customer of the particular bank. He has a couple of multiple next best offers, so which should be very helpful in instances as customer service team is facilitating issue resolution and so on and so forth. And of course, you get all of those standard analytics. And of course, there is also the way to reach out to the customer through the traditional channels of phone calls, emails, SMS, and of late we also added WhatsApp, Telegram, and other channels as well. So basically, what the understanding here is to show that irrespective of how and where the customer is being reached out to, all of those communications activities are grouped and stored against the contact record. It could be stored as an activity, it can be stored as an email, it can be stored as a phone call, or interactions through an external chat or a chatbot, irrespective of whatever that may be, they will all show up in a single customer record. And that will make sure that the customer experience is taken to the next level. Now, what we're going to do first is to create a case through the traditional channel, which is the portal side of the house, right? So let's go ahead and initiate and log in as a customer. In this case, I'm going to log in as Alex Wilson. Alex Wilson is basically the same person that you saw previously. He's taken to his portal page. This portal page basically talks to him about what are some of the common cases he has, what kind of requests, and FAQs, and any other dashboards that you want them to be available to the person. Now, the customer also has the ability to change their profile by looking at their general profile, do some auditing analysis, and so on and so forth. We can see that is a core member that is also a non-editable field. Now, from a customer service perspective, obviously, maybe he has multiple he wants to raise a ticket to the contact center. In that case, he can simply come over to the portal side of the house and select what kind of category of help is he looking for. So maybe this is credit card or debit card. Let's assume this is a credit card. And within credit card, there are multiple services that we can offer, such as adding a new dependent to the credit card, disputing a transaction, increasing credit limit, or whatever that may be. So maybe he's interested in raising the interest, increase the credit card in this case. So we can go ahead and say that he wants, I want, approximately 10K in credit limit, increase in credit limit, right? So those kinds of messages can be published. And then when I hit publish, basically what's going to happen is it is going to create a brand new case and then show that system as well, right? So when I go into the audit side of the house, it will show you that a case has been created by Alex Wilson at a particular date and time frame. So I know exactly what is going on. So right now I'm looking at service ticket 181 that has been created brand new. And this this subject is all about increasing credit limit with a credit category for credit card. So now let's take a look at how this translates internally to the financial services contact center. So from a contact center perspective, I can then come in here, then I can open up the service module, and then of course I can get all kinds of dashboards, but I'm particularly interested in the latest one, that is 181, service ticket 181 that has been created. Obviously, if I simply open this up, I will see information about who that person was. In this case, it's Alex Wilson. He works for a particular company. He's looking for credit card and increasing credit card. I can, of course, assign this case to myself to make sure that nobody else is answering that. You can also notice that from a source perspective, there are multiple ways in which the can be created, whether from a visit to a local branch, forum, email, phone call, you name it, it automatically will identify the source as well. So let me go ahead and save this and also mark this to in progress. Now, again, from this perspective, you'll notice that as soon as I marked this in progress, resolution time did go and reflect whatever the resolution time was, about 2 hours from now. So that means we have to answer this question within two hours. And also it gives us the ability to reach out to them. So for example, if I have an email, it'll basically select that email. I have the ability to respond to them, or the traditional email channels, or through the traditional phone calls, or sending out an SMS, or so on and so forth. Of course, I can also reach out to him on the portal side of the house. I can say, I am working on your issue. And this will automatically, and of course, I can also attach a file in here. So if I want to attach a certain document or something like that, I can hit publish, and all of that information is stored automatically within the case record itself, saying that, hey, this is what Alex Wilson has indicated. This is John Best, the case agent or the customer service agent, responding back to say that I'm working on this issue as well. So those are all the things that you can easily do. Now, but that is the one side of the house, right? So now what can we do? We can, of course, take it in other channels. I'm not going to show you the phone or the email because these are pretty standard. And of course, from a timeline perspective, you'll notice that a couple of emails can be exchanged as well. All of those details are captured in every single way, is being captured into the case record itself. But what would be very interesting is to take it to the next level. So maybe from a Facebook Messenger or something like that. So let's take a look at how that user experience is going to look like, right? So now I'm again back as Alex Wilson, and now I've gone to the Facebook, right? In the Facebook side, I'm browsing my Facebook like I always do. So let me log into the Facebook channel. And the password is, let me log into Facebook. So basically assume that Alex Wilson has now gone in. He's now, looking at the regular Facebook or whatever that may be, right? So he's looking at his friends and all of those things. And now he decides that, you know what, I need to find out what is going on with that case. I submitted that case on the portal side. I wonder if anything has happened on that case or not. So, and again, we have mocked up a bank in here. US Bank is just a generic bank. They are not a customer of ours, but I just wanted to use them as an example in this particular demo. So let's pick them up. And then I can say, you know what, start a new chat. Once I do that, it will now say, basically, what do you want to do, right? So it's starting a new chat. And then it says, oh, Alex Wilson, I know who you are. What can I help you with this, right? So it's basically almost like a chat bot that is integrated with a Facebook Messenger that is automating these kinds of systems, right? So are you looking for help with your new products or service status or whatever that may be, right? In this case, I'm going to say I am interested in knowing understanding what is going on with my case that I have submitted, right? So it says, okay, I'm going to look at the service status. And then it says, all right, so do you have a service ticket with you? Do you have that service ticket number, right? So I can go back to my case in here and I can open that up and say, okay, I do have the service ticket number all the way to 181. I'm going to come back to the Facebook and I'm going to say, yes, I do have a service ticket with me. It is 181. In that case, chatbot is going to say, okay, in that case, let's go ahead and type in your service ticket number and let us know what it is, right? So what is going on right now is internally the chatbot through Facebook Messenger is going to connect to Creatio and say that your ticket is currently under processing with a particular resolution time. This is resolution time that we have. Do you wish to receive a phone call from the agent working on the case, right? And the answer is yes or no, whatever that may be. If I say yes, I do want to receive a phone call from an agent, then what we'll do is we will take that and we'll say that, hey, that phone number that we have on the file, 218-212-854-7512, we will notify that agent and have that agent call back to you at this particular number. What would you like to do? Do you want to end the chat, or do you want to go back to the main menu, or whatever that may be? So I want to say, you know what, end the chat. I'm all set. Thank you so much for helping me out, and then I can go ahead and start working on rest of my Facebook status. But internally, what we have done is something very interesting, right? So if you go back to the service ticket now 181, you will now notice that call Alex Wilson in 2 hours automatically has been created as an activity for the agent. So as the agent is working on the tickets, he or she gets notified that, hey, you need to reach out to Alex Wilson in 2 hours because he made a ping. He wanted to understand what is the latest on this particular case. So this is how we can communicate back and forth in omnichannel, but also take advantage of the low-code business process engine to facilitate this task notification automation, so that there's no manual anywhere. It's all happening in a seamless way, very easy for us to do so. And so on and so forth. So that takes care of how we can work in conjunction with the Facebook Messenger and have the ability to communicate back and forth. All right, so that was one thing, right? So the next step is, can we continue on with, basically what is going on from a day-to-day basis? Typically, what happens is, in certain instances, the customer may visit the local branch, and then when he meets the local branch manager, he or she will then be asked to give an update on the status. Typically, they may not have access to it because they don't have a single view of the customer. In such a case, what we can initiate is a typical standard consultation panel where I can say I'm looking for, Alex Wilson, and the phone number from a validation is, okay, Mr. Alex Wilson, can you please verify your phone number or social security number or whatever 2 or 3 identifiers that we want to make sure that we are speaking to the right person, right? In this case, we do validate Alex Wilson. Then we are like, okay, Alex, can you please verify your last 4 digits of your social security number or your passport or date of birth, whatever that may be, to identify who that person is. Then I can hit start consultation, right? So once that is done, as a branch manager, I'm taken immediately to his profile. I already know what next best offers are going on. And then if if he says, hey, I have a question, I submitted a ticket for credit limit, where is that going on? I can simply click on the cases, and you can see that this is automatically taken me to 181. And then I can take a look at this and say that, oh, you know what, John Best is working on that case. By the way, it's tagged to close right around a couple of hours from now. Oh, but don't worry about it. Looks like you also had the agent is going to call back to you in 2 hours as well. So you can have that kind of conversation as well. And also notice one other thing is that it also automatically created a new case for consultations of Alex Wilson. And then from here on, I can either create a new case, or if he's interested in securing a new loan or whatever offers that he's entitled to, I can take advantage of that. I can take a look at the cards that he is entitled to, and so on and so forth. This is, again, a good way for bringing it all together, understanding who he is. And of course, if you go into the contact record of Alex Wilson himself, and then take a look at it from a history perspective, and then take a look at some of the cases that has been that he's part of. So it might be in the communication history. So all of those cases will be part of that as well. So it's somewhere in here from that perspective. Okay, so let's move on. In the interest of time, let's move on to the next step, which is the chat bot. So I previously showed you that you can go to the Facebook, and you can tag to from the Facebook Messenger as well. Now let's take a look at how is that going to look like from a chat bot perspective, right? So again, keep in mind, US Bank is just a representative bank for us. They are not a customer of ours. I just want to make that clear. So in this case, I want to say the name is Alex Wilson. again, it's going to start identifying who you are. Then it says, okay, what can I help you with? Like, I want to know, in this case, do you want help with new products or your products or new products that you're trying to get, or service status? And I can say, you know what, I'm interested in understanding what the service status is. And again, it's going to prompt me and say that, do you have the service ticket with you? And of course, the answer is yes, I do. Then I can go ahead and select 181 and insert that and hit enter. And basically what it does is it then goes back and says, okay, I got your, ticket is under processing. This is when we should expect it based upon the time zone that it is. Do you wish to receive a call from the agent working on the case? And if I say yes, again, just like you saw previously with the Facebook Messenger, it is now saying that, hey, I'm going to notify the agent to call you at this particular number. And of course, we can continue on from perspective about, hey, do you want to continue further on? Or do you like to end the chat as it stands right now? So in this case, I'm going to end the chat, and basically that conversation has ended, right? So internally, what has again happened is that if you go back to the cases now and look at 181 case, that is the one that had the credit card information, you'll now see a second call Alex Wilson in 2 hours, because previously the first one was done on behalf of the Facebook Messenger, and this time it is going to be based upon the chatbot. So that's how we can bring all of those things together and put them together and make sure that irrespective of where you're coming from, whether you're coming from the portal side, and again, keep in mind that on the portal side, you'll always have the ability to go back and understand what is going on. So I currently know that this is in the in progress stage. This is who has been working on it, right? So I can get complete control over what is going on. And of course, these traditional channels about emails and phone calls are also available as well, right? So the next question is, where is all of this information stored? Of course, if you go into Alex Wilson and then look into the history part of it, you will now notice that from an email perspective, calls and messages, all of those messages about me asking from a welcome bot and so on and so forth, they're all stored in here very nicely in Alex Wilson, so that Alex Wilson character profile. So it tells you that irrespective of the channel that you're coming through, emails, phone calls, chatbot, they're all stored in one easy to store location. All right, so the next step is obviously, can this all be modified from a cases perspective? So of course, everybody knows that we live and breathe low code in its entirety. So what that means is, if you're working on cases in this case, as long as you're a system administrator, and I emphasize that word, you must be a system administrator, you can always do the page layout. So you can go to the open section wizard, and then basically it'll give you how that page is laid out. So different kinds of lookups are there in here, like priority contact legal entity. That's basically right there, priority contact legal entity, and then the various kinds of tabs like case information, processing, closure, and feedback. They're all over there as well. So if you want to make any changes to this page using low code, no code, it's very easy. Look for the data that is already there, simply drag and drop that. It will store it nice itself. And if you don't want notes, you can see that the notes now has grayed out. If you want to bring it back, simply highlight that, click it, and now it gets dark again on the left-hand side, indicating now that it's no longer being used in this page, but it's still available if you want to use that in the future, right? And of course, this is all the existing data, but if you want to add a new data, or if you want to add a brand new a chart into this page, like dashboards or whatever it is, it's right there. So for example, if you want to add a brand new decimal data in here, simply drag and drop. This time we tell you that, hey, this decimal, by the way, whether it is 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places, or up to 8 decimal places, how do you want to reflect that in Creatio's database? It's that easy, right? Or if you want to add a brand new chart, if you want to add a dashboards right there, you can simply drag it and it will bring up the chart as well. And then you can start creating a dashboard for that. And of course, from a business process perspective, if you want to set up all of these chevrons with different steps in here, you can pretty much set up your section cases. If I go in here, you'll notice that you can see the main section. You can also see what the portal looks like. The portal has a different look and feel than a new one. So this is what the portal page is visible. For Alexander Wilson. So it's about category and service, and that reflects the portal view that the customer has from category and service and different processing and audit is basically the portal page. So if I simply go back to the previous one, I will then get into the cases side where I can have many workflows using low code. So one such workload is basically what I've done in here from a review case information. And as you already know that you can have unstructured business processes where you can have these kinds of guide rails to provide either an approval, change the access rights, send out an email notification when a particular task has been completed, all done through to the means of magic of low code, right? In this case, this is all about setting up task on the right-hand side, or if you want to send out an email, what would that email look like? What kind of templates are you sending it? Who is this being sent to? So on and so forth, right? So all of those things can be easily be done. And of course, if you want to do something a little bit more complex, then of course you have the sub processes from a call activity. All right, so in a nutshell, what I wanted to show you again in summary was to create a brand new case from the portal side, which I did. Once the case comes along, I have visibility to see where is that current process going on from beginning to the end. Then I showed you how uh, the the customer can reach out to the contact center agent in multiple channels, right? Whether that be an on-site visit through the consultation panel, or through the chat bot, or through the Facebook Messenger. Irrespective of how you're coming in, all of that information is stored against a single customer database. So we will be able to facilitate and improve customer experience in a great way. I hope this was very helpful. Please let me know if there's any questions. I'll be happy to take any further questions from here on. Thank you so much.